Tanny Games here, welcome back to the channel. Now, it comes as no surprise, I've gone on about it so many times this week, but this Fairy Fantasies challenge is my absolute favourite Dreamsnap challenge that I have participated in, voted on, I'm just so excited about it. And the other day, I did a bit of voting on my new account, and I came across some absolutely fantastic dream snaps. They were so beautiful, and the ones that I'm going to show you are the 20 best that I found that day. And let me just say, I did a lot of voting. I did a lot of voting. There were so many good snaps. But I just wanted to kind of show these off, share them with the community. If you do recognize any of them, please let me know in the comments down below. But I'm so excited to show off these dream snaps that I came across when voting that did get my vote. So as I said, if you recognize any of these, let me know, because I have voted for each and every single one of these, and I think they're absolutely amazing dream snaps. So I'm very excited to show them off. So let's have a look at these. So we begin here with this very bright and vibrant one. Tons of fireflies, tons of sparkles, tons of light. I love this. I love how their character looks. She definitely encapsulated the fairy core vibes of the challenge. You know, we've got these bright green wings. I love the choice of hair colour. I really love how they've used the fairy bloss house and also Tinkerbell's house. All the mushrooms that they've got dotted around and things like that. They've really lent into the foliage and kind of the magic and whimsy of fairycore, which I absolutely love. I think this turned out to be an absolutely brilliant snap. It definitely caught my eye when voting. I think utilising all those fireflies really worked. I know not a lot of people like the busy snaps, but sometimes I just think they really draw you in and they can look really captivating. So I really enjoyed this one. Then we come across our next snap here, and I really love this foreground here with all this bioluminescent moss. I'm assuming this is on a table of some sorts. I have no idea. It's definitely lifted up a bit higher. It certainly has some height, but I couldn't work out what this was actually on. But I just thought that was quite fascinating. I love the backdrop, like seeing these mushrooms here, seeing the foliage work, you know, the floating bubbles that they've got dotted around with candles inside of them, with snippets was really cute. I really liked her outfit. You know, she definitely has those fairy core vibes. I love the butterflies that are flying around as well. They sort of add to the theming of this snap. I thought it was really beautiful. You know, we've got subtle touches of mushrooms on the ground here as well. But I really love this foreground. I thought it really enhanced the image. Like, obviously her outfit and everything is cute. You know, the background is cute as well. But just a really unique perspective for this submission. Then we have this submission, which is very simple, but it was really cute. I love the little dragon in the background there, as well as this one closer up. I love that we've got the beanstalk marshes in the background there, sort of just as a subtle little detail in the background. I loved her outfit. I loved the wings that she paired with it. And I really liked that she went with this hairstyle. So this is a hairstyle that we had back in a previous Star Path. And I think it may have come back into the premium shop actually. But it's this wavy kind of water hairstyle. But I just think it complements the dress and the colours that they've gone for a lot. I think you can do like simple shots like this and they look really good. I probably would have extended the foliage just to the left and right a bit more, like just place one more down, and I think it would look brilliant. I mean, it does look brilliant. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a beautiful dream snap, but it just goes to show that you don't have to go overboard. Like, obviously I feel like the first two shots are very maximalist. This is much more minimalist, and I think it's just as beautiful and aesthetic. I think, you know, both have their purposes, both have their own sort of appearance and appeals and things like that. I think I can appreciate a minimalist snap as much as I can appreciate a maximalist one. Then I came across this snap and I was just blown away. I haven't seen anything like this. This feels so unique. It feels so special. I mean, look at that sun there and the way the trees kind of just crop in front of it. Absolutely magical. I loved how they decorated with these flowers at the front, the little lily pads that they've got going on, the magnolia tree just slightly cropping in, and the owl that we've got flying here into the shot. I absolutely love this. I thought this was magical. I felt like, yeah, it was pure magic. And even utilizing the royal tool here just adds to that magical element. I love how she looks. I think her fairy vibes are absolutely wonderful. And I just think, yeah, she's got a lot of elegance about her, but it definitely is in keeping with those fairy core vibes. I just think it's so wonderful. It's such a simple shot. Very simple, but incredibly beautiful. I was just so captivated by it. It's fantastic. This is absolutely one of my favorites of these 20. It's stunning. Then I came across this submission, and this is a lovely kind of winter fairy vibe. This is definitely my kind of vibe. I'm a big fan of the winter seasons. I do love a bit of snow, and it really leans into the Frost and Fairies theming of the Star Path, which I think is really fun. I love this, the Arendelian castle in the background, you know, all these icicles on the side. I think it's really pretty. It's so nice. It's just so aesthetic. I like the symmetry of it. I think the symmetry is really nice. I think symmetry can be very appealing. Also, I'm guessing this is done on a floating island, perhaps. And this is done almost at an angle, because this is the flooring. And look at how it kind of feels angular. I think that's really fun. It's something that we don't see a lot of, because obviously a lot of us are so used to doing these straight, you know, up, down, left, right snaps, but this really adds a lot of dimension to the submission, which I think is fantastic. And then we have a Tinkerbell inspired snap here, and obviously I couldn't resist voting for this. I love Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is wonderful, and yeah, so seeing a Tinkerbell inspired snap in the wild brought me so much joy. I absolutely loved it. Nice touch with Mirabelle in the background there with all the butterflies. I know my husband wouldn't agree, but I don't mind Mirabelle. Mirabelle is an underrated character. I love the illuminated flowers going on here, as well as the mushrooms. I like the way they've utilized these signposts, like as if it's pointing towards the fairy home. I just thought that was kind of like a cute little touch. The glowing anemones in the background just really add to the fairy core and whimsical vibes. Obviously, the fairy bloss home is one of the most fairy core homes in the game. We've got quite a few now, but definitely one of the stronger ones. That's why I used it in my own submission. We've obviously got the fireflies again, adding that fairy core, that whimsy core, and a couple of glowing lanterns. I don't know which ones these are. Like, I can't work out what light sources they are, but again, they just add a lot to it. They really enhance the shot, just adds a nice warm glow to it. And then we have a kind of more dark fae kind of vibe here. Love this. I love how their outfit kind of contrasts with the background. So they've gone very blue and green toned. I really love how they match the hair to the outfit and the wings. I love that coordination, that thought, as well as the makeup. The makeup coordinates. So the entire thought process put into this outfit is wonderful. And then we've got all these kind of like purple and pinky tones with the mushrooms and the magnolia blossoms and things like that, which is really nice to see. This is a nice shot. It's taken in the glade, which is kind of nice because you do get the fireflies as well, which is a really nice touch. But then they've also made use of the what tree? Dreamlight fruit tree, and that again has its own kind of sparkles that it gives off, so it really adds to the ethereal kind of nature of the Dreamsnap. And for our next one here, we have a snap that's taken in the Beanstalk Marshes. I really like this archway that we can see with the Beanstalk Marshes. I think that looks really, really cool. Love the fountain here. I never would have thought to have used this green fountain, but I think it adds a nice bit of whimsy to the shot. And we've also got this pathing here. I really love how she's done her pathing. Like, it's not all completely joined, there's like spaces in between, which I think is really fun. It kind of almost feels very natural. We have a lot of foliage here, you know, from mushrooms to flowers to bushes. It's really, really nice. And obviously the framing at the bottom of the shot with the mushrooms is beautiful. We do have the Tinkerbell home here, but what's quite nice is we're only seeing a part of it. So it just feels like almost like a natural tree stump, which is really, really nice. I love that her character is in a bubble, you know, kind of really adding to the magic of the shot. And yeah, it's kind of nice. She's gone for a very unique outfit. Like, she's gone for something that's kind of very casual and normal. Like, it doesn't look very fairy court as an outfit, but certainly the vibes of the submission are definitely very fairy core, which I love. And next up we have another fairy in a bubble submission. It's certainly the popular move to do here. I really, really like this. I think it's really cute. Love the purple dress, love the pink Pegasus, and I love the subtle pink touches in this submission. You know, from the cherry trees to these bushes, which you can get from Mythopia, that have that kind of like pink tone in them. We've also got the pink lamppost. It does feel very natural. It kind of feels like a winter fairy, perhaps. You know, we have got this house here, which has obviously all the snow on it. This kind of like camping lodge cottage kind of home. We do also have it set in the Frosted Heights, so really leaning into those frosted themes. It's just really nice. There's like, I think the colour in this shot really pops. Like, the greens and the pinks feel so much more vibrant because they're contrasting against the white snow. It really enhances those colours. It makes them feel bright and fresh, which is, I think, lovely. Then we have a submission that's set here in Eternity Isle. This looks like the lagoon kind of area. This is nice. I think it's really cute. I love the scholarly dragon. I can't even say that. Scholarly dragon is really, really cute. We have this beautiful bit of lighting here created from the pond where the sun is obviously reflecting, which is a nice little detail. We have our mushrooms dotted around. We have a beautiful plumeria path here. We've got all the mushrooms, all the flowers. The giant sized flowers really have a lot of fairy core vibe to them, so I think that's really fun. I think this is an enjoyable snap. Definitely feels fairy core. She almost feels small because of the use of the giant flowers. It kind of makes her look like she's the same size as the flowers. So it kind of shrinks her down. You kind of can picture her as fairy size, which I think is really fun. The next submission I came across would actually work for this week's challenge. This definitely has forest vibes. I loved how kind of like subtle this was. I loved her outfit. Her outfit was so beautiful. The way the shoes matched with the wings and the dress is just wonderful to see. I mean, this is basically one complete outfit apart from the wings, but it just goes together really, really nicely. And I think paired with the tone of her hair and her skin tone and everything, it just looks very beautiful. I do love this little romantic dining table setup, like it's a mysterious date night in the forest, which is really cute. You know, it does feel like a bit of a whimsical, mystical place, which I think is beautiful, but her character really stands out. She really does take the focus in the shot, which I think is really, really nice. It's just kind of like a really subtly done, beautiful shot. And then we have another submission here, which I really love this. I love how they designed their character. The fact that they went with like the blue skin tone, the purple and pink hair. I think it really makes them look like a mythological kind of fairy core creature, which I think is really fun. I do love how they included fairy godmother, because obviously if you've got a fairy challenge, why not include an iconic fairy in it? You know what I'm saying? So that was a joy to see. Using the tracking marker here to create almost like this magical glowing effect. Such a genius idea. Again, something that I kind of wanted to utilize and totally forgot to do in my own snap. There's so many things that as I'm voting, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that. And I never did it. And I'm kind of gutted, but I absolutely love this. I think it's so magical. We do have Flynn in the background there. I think he's photo bombing a little bit, but he doesn't take away from the submission. I love all the fairy circles, like the mushroom toadstool circles that we've got going on. These giant mushrooms really look cool, and we've got a glowing light from just behind the Tinkerbell house, which again just adds to the whimsical nature of this submission. On to our next shot, and I absolutely loved how their character looked. I don't know how they've done it, but she has such a kind of like fairy-like appearance in her face, like the big round eyes. And I don't know what colour they've used for the eyes, but it was just one of the things that really drew me into this submission was how their character looked. She kind of really felt fitting of a fairy. You know, she really lent into that kind of almost like cartoon kind of aesthetic, which I love. I think she definitely feels like she could come straight out of, you know, one of the Tinkerbell movies. I think she would work really well in that setting. But I loved how this was decorated. You know, we just have the gazebo here with the seating underneath it. So you can imagine it's an area to kind of relax, enjoy nature. Then we've got all the mushrooms kind of dotted around. We've got the foliage, you know, with the flowers and the bushes, making use of some of the naturally spawning sort of items like the green glowing mushrooms. Such a clever idea, really works well in the submission. I think the flooring looks great. I wouldn't have thought to have used the opal and gem flooring, but it actually fits really nice in this scene, and it adds a nice bit of contrast to the shot, which I think is really good. I love this. I think it's so good, and I really love how their character looks. I think that's one of the best things about this snap is how their character looks. She elevates this from a 10 out of 10 to like 100 out of 10. It's so good. It's so good. Then we come to our next submission, and this is really bright. It's really vibrant. I love how they put the roses in the bubbles. I wouldn't have thought to have done that, but it's a really nice little touch. I love how they included the windmills in the background. They just look so beautiful. And I love how they made this pathway combined of the flowers you pick up when you first discover Rapunzel in Eternity Isle. Then they've also used the magnolia flower like path. And then they've also used the like book path. So it does feel very whimsical and very magical, which I think is really, really fun. I also like how they've used a lot of mushrooms in terms of the decor. You know, we've got the toadstool circles. Then we've got the like purple mushrooms and the brown ones. We also have the giant ones in the background, so they don't take over the front of the shot, which I think is really nice. Yeah, this is just very beautiful and aesthetic, and I also like the addition of the floating lanterns. I think they are really cute. They definitely add to the kind of whimsical nature of the submission. I really love how her character looks. I love that the hair matches with the dress. I think that is really cute. So yeah, I think this is a really well put together submission. Then we come across another submission, and I was just surprised by it. This took me by surprise. Their character just looks so unique. Like using the floral kind of like beard and mustache, and then that floral green hair. They've really kind of lent into that kind of mythical vibe. Like they definitely look like a mythical kind of creature, mythical kind of fairy. That's kind of the vibes they give, and they really lean into that, and I think they've done it extremely well, to be honest. I was absolutely blown away by this. I was just so surprised. It doesn't look like something that I would normally be drawn to, but I love the uniqueness of this submission. I love the path. The cobblestone path looks so natural here. We have all the flowers dotted around, which is so, so, so stunning. You know, using the Tinkerbell house as well. Really nice touch, along with the Fairy Bloss house. I think this is the frozen pond, but the way you see it here, it just looks like kind of like a natural pond. It doesn't look frosted or frozen in any sense. And I'm assuming that's what this is. That's what it looks like. But yeah, I love how we can sort of see through. There's a lot of depth in this submission. Love the subtle glowing lights in the background, again, adding to the kind of whimsical nature of the submission. This pathway here with the Plumeria path, the Magnolia petal path, and the Tiana kind of like lily pads, absolutely beautiful. It combines together so nicely, and obviously the mushrooms in this corner here look fantastic. I thought this was such a unique shot, and it really drew me in. It was a fantastic submission. And next we have a submission here which includes Rapunzel. I just thought that was kind of cute. I thought it was kind of sweet. But I really loved how her character looked. I kind of like this mix of the dark emerald green with kind of like the white to blue toned wings, and obviously the white antler horns. I just thought that offered a nice bit of contrast in her outfit. But I really loved how her hair matched her dress. I really liked that thought and detail, that kind of cohesion through the outfit. It even looks like they've got some face makeup on which coordinates, which is really nice. All the fireflies obviously just add into that very cool, whimsical nature. The vine flower lamps, the Fairy Bloss home. It's really, really nicely done. It really feels like we're in nature here, especially using the vine flower lamp here at the front of the shot, because it does kind of make it feel like you're peering through the trees, the bushes, into this magical world, which I think is really fun. Then our next submission here, this is a really, really cute one. I love the detail on the floor here with the Magnolia petal path and the bioluminescent moss. Works together really, really nicely. I really like how this person included the fairy godmother house. I think that works really nicely in this challenge. Certainly fairy godmother herself is really on theme, but I think that kind of oversized mushroom look, not mushroom, pumpkin, that oversized pumpkin kind of look really fits in with the kind of whimsical, magical nature of the challenge. Absolutely love the foliage work in this submission, like the mix of the flowers along with the mushrooms, I think works really, really well. So this was an absolutely stunning submission. Then we have this submission, and again, this is one of my favorites. Of all the snaps that I got to vote on in this like selection, this is absolutely a million 10 times one of my favorites. I love her. She just kind of looks like a dragon fairy, which I think is just wonderful. It's so cute. I love how coordinated the outfit is. To use the dragon companions as well. To capture this companion with his little tongue out, it's so, so, so cute. You know, you can just see looking at this why this is one of my favourite snaps. It's stunning. The decor, like with the foliage, the fawns, just kind of add into the dark fae kind of vibes is wonderful. Love the path work, love all the mushrooms, the glowing, oh, it's just beautiful. There is nothing I can fault about this. It is absolutely stunning. So, so, so stunning. I love how her character looks. I think her character looks beautiful. Yeah, it's just absolutely one of my faves. I just think this is so fantastic. Such a beautiful, beautiful submission. I'm obsessed with this. I really am. I'm obsessed. Then we have another submission here, and I like this one for all the flowers. Kind of like in this flower field here. It was kind of fun. But these flowers are quite unique because they give off a sparkle. These were the like flowers that you got from what event was it? It was like a button collecting event for the popcorn buckets. Yeah, it was, I don't fully remember what the event was called, but there were these flowers that we had to pick up, and they were kind of like our yellow buttons. But they sort of, you could keep the flowers, and yeah, it just looks really cool. It's kind of like almost like she's in like a poppy field or something like that. Loved the waterfall in the background, loved how the character looked, loved the inclusion of the dragon companion. I think it works really well with the theming of the challenge. It was just a fun and unique concept to see. And then for our last submission here that I'm doing in this video, we have this submission. I really like this submission. I thought it was really, really fun. There's a few little details in this that I really liked. I mean, we'll start with the basics. I loved how the character looked. I think she looks so cool, so fun. Love the mushroom and the foliage detail in the background. Obviously love this rose, like stone fence wall. Absolutely beautiful. Love the fireflies, love the dragon companion. It all works together really nicely. But I also love how they've included the fairy bubbles. That was something I wanted to include and completely forgot about. Love how they've put them in the bigger bubbles as well, kind of like bubbles in a bubble, which is fun. But they've also included the little fairy godmother statue, which I think is a really sweet little touch, just to include that. And then we've got the tiny chairs. Now, the tiny chairs were something that you got during one of Mulan's quests. And for a while, you couldn't utilize them in game. As soon as you done the quest, that was it. But in a recent update, they made it so you could actually still use the tiny chairs as furniture decor, which I think is really fun. And I think it kind of adds to the fairy-like nature. Like, typically fairies are like small creatures. So to have like little tiny chairs for them is just a really cute little touch. I just thought that was so sweet. And then we've got this fence in here, which I think works really well with this setup. It's just so pretty. I love how like the lighting is in this shot. Like the character is so well lit, but there's something that feels a bit darker about the background, that it kind of feels a bit like, what is here? What's behind these shadows? What can we see in this world, this mysterious forest that we're coming across, or you know, something like that, like this magical world that we've kind of stumbled into, which I think is really fun. I just love it. I think it's fantastic. I have absolutely loved all of these submissions, and I hope they all get the votes that they deserve, because I just think they're wonderful. They're just absolutely wonderful. So there we have it. That is like 20 of my most favourite submissions that I voted on. It was done in one evening when I voted on those. I've certainly come across a lot of amazing submissions when I've been voting in streams and just generally as I've been playing the game. This has absolutely been one of my favouriteest challenges. I'm just obsessed, and I'm gonna be so sad that this challenge is over. I'm definitely gonna miss it, because it's just brought me so much joy. I think it's brought a lot of love back to the game, which I didn't have. So I've really enjoyed it. It's, you know, kind of given me back a bit of passion for the game, which I really enjoy. It's just been so much fun, and I'm hoping we perhaps see some fairy core leftovers in the Lost Forest challenge. That's what I'm kind of hoping. I did try and go a bit fairy-esque with my own snaps, so fingers crossed, if we're lucky, I still get to see some of that fairy core stuff. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did recognise any of the snaps, let me know in the comments down below. But I hope you have a wonderful day. Do take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys!